Walking around Campbell River. Not the most pedestrian-friendly community. Not really a sidewalk here. People like to drive fast. Not yield for pedestrians, I've noticed. When you have communities that are completely car dependent, as in really the only time that, or anytime people leave their house, it's in their car. People view their car as an extension of their personal body. And when you're walking on foot in front of them, they just see you as being in front of them personally. They don't see the power imbalance that they have sitting in an automobile, you know, wearing a car. But that's just the way it is. It's the way it is in North America, in these car-centric communities here. Aside from that, Campbell River is a pretty sweet little town. Lots of nice restaurants, lots of good shops for resupplying, hardware stores, marine supply. I'm just walking to a marine propeller shop. See if I can find a 10mm propeller shaft size prop. It's a cross pin, bit of an older style. Because the one that I got with my motor, the aluminum one, is not true at all. It's completely wobbly, and it vibrates when it runs on my motor. So I've been using my 3D printed ones, which are good, but probably not super efficient. So see if I can find something else. Yeah, we'll see. Campbell River. Nice. If you ever need a prop and you're in Campbell River, North Island Propeller. Great shop, super helpful, friendly. We got our prop. See if we can make it work. We'll need to put a hole into the end of it here that nothing a hot nail can't figure out. Also got a file, a round file, so I should be able to file that open once I punch through, or who knows, maybe friendly boats on the dock will have a drill for me once they see me faffing around. See how it goes. Yes, I can definitely give you that. Sorry, I'm just looking at a bed bug right now, just getting some video of it. Alright, we have left Campbell River. We are pushing for Seymour Narrows. Slack tide's in about 1 hour, and we are about an hour, 10 minutes out of Seymour. And then we'll have a tide in our direction. So I'm hoping 3-4 kilometers per hour tide pull us through. Should be okay. Seymour Narrows, Ripple Rock, most famous, infamous pathways on Vancouver Island. 15-20 kilometer per hour currents, shifting directions several times a day. We are on track to be there minutes after slack, and then we'll have a tide in our direction. We're gonna get pulled in okay. Watching out for planes here. Keep pedaling. We're doing 8 kilometers an hour, 9 kilometers an hour. Motor pedaling here. The battery's full. Slight overcast. The sun is out there somewhere. Yeah, we're moving. Terrible sleep last night. I'm gonna go into the details, but suffice to say I was bitten all night long in my hotel bed. A certain type of bug. Likes to live in beds. Yeah, terrible experience. Not much seems sad, but onwards. Press on. The tide changes here at 11:30. We've got about 5-6 hours of tide in our direction. After which, right at the end of which, we're going to find somewhere to pull off. Rock Bay, maybe Bear Creek, like this. Around the corner, beginning of the Johnston Strait, top of Discovery Passage. See how far we get. All right. See you at the Narrows. We'll see if I can film or not. I don't know. Might be white knuckling it. Holding on to my stomach here. We'll see. Holding on the rudder. Working the controls. If I require my full attention, I don't have a chest mount or anything like that. Not a big idea, but well. Middle Point Shipbreaking Yard. It's one of the few in BC. They're the only one. Somewhat contentious. I hope that big guy's not coming this way. Hunches are probably going to land that sucker on the beach. But we'll see. 10 kilometers an hour. Making way. He is going for the Narrows. Just like everyone else out here. Pushing for the Narrows. Flat tide. Should be there in about a half hour. Slack tide. Got about a half an hour. Look at that. It's all worked out quite well. I think. Knock on wood. Seymour Narrows in sight. 2 kilometers away. It is slack tide. We're pushing for it. Same as everybody else. No problemo. We're going. We're moving. And some drum and bass to keep the rhythm going. Pretty stiff headwind here. 15 knots or so. 1.5. But we're cruising. Pushing through 7.5 kilometers an hour. We're pushing. 600 watts. Not too bad. Looking good. I can tie onto this guy. Give me a pull. Nah, we don't need that. Good. We're Gucci. This guy off. Side here. He was surprised I passed him along the shoreline back there. He's probably wondering how I'm getting ahead. He's in a sweet little shore eddy. Riding it forward. Oh, that's just music. Go horns in the music when you're at sea. Please. There it is. Seymour Narrows. Side of the old Ripple Rock. Going through it, it's slack. We are continuing 9 kilometers an hour. Maybe a slight tide in. We're going for it. Here we go. Here we go. Passing next to Ripple Rock. This is moments after slack tide. We got about 2 foot current rollers here. That's okay. Pushing through. Cruising along. 10 kilometers an hour here. No worries. Could have maybe been a little further to the right. That's okay. He's wet, but we're okay. Woo. Seymour Narrows. There it is. Woo. We are over the rock. Still pretty choppy out there. Sailing vessel blowing me off our starboard side. Got passed by some Yanks. Carry on. Taking it easy here. Motor's keeping our direction. Light pedaling. I want to save my legs now. I've been hustling pretty hard to get here. I just want to maintain directional control now. Watch the traffic. Ripple Rock. Usually in the middle of this passage back here, this gigantic water feature. I think it was above water even. Maybe it was at water level. Anyways, it was a huge obstruction to shipping. Caused many a shipwreck. And I think in the early 1900s they blew it up. No, I think it was the 50s. I don't remember. Yeah, probably the late 50s I think it was. They actually mined underneath on either side or from one side and planted a bunch of dynamite. Blew the sucker up. I think it was the largest non-nuclear explosion at the time. I think it may have been surpassed now, but it's up there. The largest, man-made detonations the world has ever seen right here. It just blew the whole thing right up. Now it's passable. The rock's still down there. Well, can't tell right now. I'm not going to look at the chart, but it's passable. Whew. How about that? Come all the way under and blew it up. I survived. Moriarty Point. Lots for sale. How about that? It's nice. Big old stern pressure. Large tide. I guess it's not crude or maybe so should probably start paying attention and continue on. Oh, there's a CrossFit gym out here. Oh, there's a CrossFit gym out here. Limestone Island, off in the distance. Limestone Island. Getting near the end of Discovery Passage here. Before we hang a left turn, northwesterly route into the Johnstone Strait. We'll find ourselves a nice little island to stay on tonight. Bears or boars. That's the idea anyways, once they swim over. I got a lot of beef jerky and crumbs. It's impossible to keep the crumbs off. It's very beautiful out here. Rock Bay Marine Provincial Park. This is Snag Rock, or maybe it's a Slab Point. Rock formations here. Nice warm breeze. Beautiful. Very nice.
7 on the display over there. Oh, there's a little seal. It's a little tiny kitty. Just doing a little tour around the rock here. Why not? Excellent time today. I need to start thinking about where we're going to pull out here. I'm thinking I'm going to go around the corner into Johnstone Strait for maybe a couple kilometers. There's a couple little spots here that we can hit. A couple little islands here at the north side of the channel. Okay, watch where I'm going. Let's go. Some kelp hanging on. Anyways. Canadian Coast Guard Lighthouse, Chatham Point. There was a time when I used to work for the Coast Guard. I did electronics for the Canadian Coast Guard. Radios, computers, navigational equipment, that sort of thing, radars. A couple of years, good time. I look back on it fondly. Never got a chance to get out to many of the lighthouses. Sometimes we fly in to make repairs. Fly out to a couple in my short time. I enjoyed it very much. Chatham Island. Chatham Point, rather. All right, Johnstone Strait. We are in. Beautiful vistas. Tall peaks of Vancouver Island. We've got East Thurlow Island here, bit of cut. And we got Turn Island up ahead here. Potential, there's an anchorage in between the two there, but they're gonna go a little bit further to the Wacom Islands. We still got about a solid hour and a half before tide change, before current direction change, I should say. So yeah, Wacom Islands are about 5 kilometers away. So right now we're cruising at 7.6 kilometers an hour. So I'm thinking that we're going to go to Wacom. Make the most of this favorable current that we can. And yeah. Dual screens. What a nerd. What a freaking dweeb. I love it. Oh, today was a good day. Got quite the hustle getting out of Campbell River there. I honestly could have started sooner. I think I was scarred pulling into Campbell River on that opposing tide, trying to get up, being stuck on Quadra Island there by Mudge, waiting for the slack so I could cross. I thought, when I take off, I'll wait till slack till I take off. Well, if I wait till slack, I'm gonna miss slack at Seymour Narrows. So I left about an hour and a half before slack, managed to boot it to Seymour. I stayed on the west side of Campbell River and on the west side of the passage there, and there was really a back eddy along the shoreline because I was clipping along at 8-9 kilometers per hour. I was pedaling and motoring, but according to the current, I should have had a 4 or 5 kilometer per hour opposing current, and that was not the case because I would have been going much more slowly. So yeah, currents. You never, well, unless you're familiar, you don't know how they're going to play out along a given shoreline. imagine as they go through a narrow section of land, there's features on the bottom and the sides that will deflect and cause, swirling effects along, like, bays and along shorelines. Like, generally it's common to have a counter flowing current along a shoreline, right? Depending on the feature. I've seen that before. That's nothing new, but it just seemed so strong when I came into Campbell River. It seemed like I was on that Cape Mudge side, and I couldn't even creep along the shoreline there. There was that point. I could creep a little bit, but then there was this point by this RV park where it was like heading to a river. I had to turn around and kind of stay in this little shadow zone. So that goes to show, worth getting out early still. And, get on the boat, get ready, get out there, see what happens. I probably could have left sooner today and have ridden that little shoreline tide eddy back, gone to Seymour with, a bit more time to spare. I was sweating. I was totally booting it this morning. But I made it. So, there you go. Wacom Island, next up.
I made it to Wacom Island. Got the Hobie pulled up on the beach here. I managed to find a way to inflate my fenders. They were a little bit low, and with the boat so heavily loaded, kind of wanted it to ride a little bit higher. On there you can see how that's sitting a little bit higher now. Yeah. Well, you can't really see how it was before, but anyways, open that up. I didn't have a way to, obviously don't have compressed air. Maybe not obviously, knowing me, but managed to get this little horn section. Wrap some paper towel around there. I'm going to make a little seal with that. Stuck it in there. Started blowing. So, filled it up. Only rated for 0.15 bar anyways. Figure I'm probably good for 1.15 bar. Nice and tight now. Yeah. Alright. I'll take it easy today. Take it easy tonight. Catch up on some rest. What a beautiful spot. What a beautiful spot. Find somewhere to pitch a tent here. Maybe string up the hammock. Happy to be here. It's a red huckleberry. Wow, so sweet. Yummy. Yummy. Wacom Island. Wacom Islands for my tandem island. Oh. This is where I camp tonight. Oh, baby. Wow. Beauty. Holy smokes. Another one. Just steaming. God damn. I wish I did have AIS radio. Look at that. Another beautiful morning here in the Johnstone Strait at Wacom Island. There's just something so satisfying about having your boat charge up for you while you wait on the beach, while you make breakfast and hang out. Slight overcast today. Sun is not fully peeking out, but we can see what we're getting on the panels. We are getting about, tough to see on there. I'll see if I can increase the exposure. Let's see here, that's it. I'm getting currently about 2 amps of charge. Not bad, right about 40 volts or so. Yeah. Free charge I love it. All right, the next day. Today's Saturday? It must be Sunday. We're a week and a half in here. I think it's day 10, maybe day 9, depending on where you kind of started. Anyways, lucked out today. We've got a southeasterly, a slight one, but we got a southeasterly through Johnstone Strait for the next couple days forecasted, which is amazing. It was really blowing here northwesterly like in the evening after I got off. Thankfully the tide changed and boy, it started blowing. 3 cruise ships went by, so glad I wasn't on the water. It could be the same plan for today. Get off around 5 when the tide direction changes, the current changes, and yeah, we're just cruising, kind of wing and wing, as it were. Wing and wing. We got our mainsail up, full battery, 7 kilometers an hour, not too bad, 6-7 kilometers an hour, and we got the overhead panel acting as a solar sail, I guess. It's kind of angled at as far back of an angle as I can get it from this position, and it's yeah, it's kind of catching the wind off our starboard rear. Is it adding to our boat speed? Maybe. It feels like it when you're sailing to get as much stuff up and out, you know, sails and etc. Always feels nice. Feels like you're going a little faster. But yeah, we'll take it. We're not going super fast. The tide is, yeah, tide's flowing too. So what time is it here? It's 12:50. Got out a little late today. Made some little improvements on the boat as usual. Painted her name on the bow. That's an important moment. And yeah, trying a different packing arrangement here. Just there's going to be a downwind day today, fairly calm. So just kind of put everything into the middle, so that maybe the pontoons can maybe fly a bit easier, or like, you know, maybe one side or both won't be as low. Anyways, yeah, it might just be kind of easier to pack in and out, and I'm not expecting heavy conditions today. So normally they're bungeed. They're kind of, well, they clip on to lines that either run forward or side to side. On either end, so that they're usually clipped in. Everything is clipped in. I try to clip in every single thing. Cell phone's always clipped in, toolkit's clipped in, everything is clipped in, tied down, either to me or the boat. Yeah, you never know. But anywho, things are looking good today. Maybe we'll start motor sailing a little bit here. We've got energy to spare at this rate, and well, southeasterly, and yeah, things look a little more gray up ahead, but it does look sunny behind us. But you know, I have a feeling it's probably gonna, there was a forecast for rain possible later today, so I'm thinking that if it starts drizzling, the wind's probably gonna peter out. So maybe we'll continue sailing until we really are losing speed. Yeah, we're doing 6 kilometers an hour now. Maybe we'll do some motor sailing here, take advantage of this. We're still getting a fair bit of sun on the panels, maybe 100 watts or a couple hundred watts worth, maybe, depending on how thick the particular cloud is. But yeah, cruise along here. Make for either Sayward area or maybe Naka Creek. I've heard it's nice, but I don't know, you can also drive in there. So what's the point of doing that? I want to stay on the most remotest of places. And little islands, I'd like to think, have less bears and cougars. And bears do swim. I think cougars swim too, but statistically, I think I'm less likely. And yeah, sometimes when I come off the water, I'm covered in crumbs, and I gotta shake everything out when I get ashore, because getting into grizzly bear country, that's for sure. They do occasionally come over to Vancouver Island. They swim over, and if they swim over, they're, you know, probably coming through these parts, you know, north of Campbell River. Pretty narrow here, easy place to swim over, as long as they time the currents. Bears don't want to get caught out here in a current and the wind. All right, see you later.
1:45. We are cruising down the Johnstone Strait. We got a lovely tailwind just past Knox Bay, heading due west. Lovely tailwind. We're cruising at about 10 kilometers per hour, just over 10 kilometers per hour. Motor is up. Not much traffic at all. Radios are working. Things are looking good. This rate, we might get to Naka Creek tonight. That's 60 kilometers away. We'll see how far we get. We'll see how far we get at this rate. Yeah, we'll have to kind of keep up over 10 kilometers per hour if we're gonna make it to Naka Creek before the tide really starts coming on strong the opposite way. We'll just keep cruising. Yeah. Hardwick Island. Yeah. Middle of the Johnstone Strait. Looks like there's a little back eddy that we're spinning in here, or at least close to shore. I see the water flowing back, so how about that? Luckily we have cell range right now. Currently I have cell. I'm on Bell Telus network. So they changed from Rogers, and it seems to have a little bit better coverage in general on the island, I would say. Consider maybe getting another SIM and doing a dual SIM if I can have both. It's both our major networks in Canada. Anyways, it's called Stryker Marine in Hardy, and they've got an ICOM M94D with AIS handheld radio. My Bell thing here currently working, but it's turning off randomly. Not great. I don't know when it turns off. I just hear it turn back on. I tried drying it out a couple days ago. I don't know if it's got water inside or something. Sometimes when you smack it, it turns back on. Pretty classic. Maybe a bad solder joint, but I've also have an ICOM. I have a smaller ICOM, but foolishly I didn't bring the charger for it. I really saw it as like my last ditch backup to just have out. If I lose this one, then I can have that one for a few days. I actually can charge it with my power adapter. I've got a DC-DC step-down voltage converter, so I can actually, I can rig some elastic band contact solution of some sort. Wrap it around with the little pins touching the battery, and slowly juice it up. Stuff like that I've done before, so I'll probably do that, yeah, just in case. But in any case, it'd be nice to have a nice new radio with AIS and GPS. You can do course, you can plot courses and stuff like that, so it'll be just another layer of safety, another item with GPS and plotting. And if for some reason everything else failed or went overboard or what have you, or I would still have another bit of kit with some GPS on it, and I can call ships directly, pull up their information, stuff like that, which here in Johnstone would be handy, I think. I mean, I can see the ships, but I could, for example, look ahead and see if there's a cruise ship. If it's within range, I could see if there's a cruise ship coming into Johnstone Strait or something like that. I could make sure that I'm not I can just prepare for it. I can make sure I'm not going to go in the center of it, or if there's a ferry coming in, I can save the ferries on there. Anyways, that's what I want to do. We are just off of Hickey Point. There are salmon just jumping everywhere. Pretty cool. I don't know if you can see that, but the last 15 minutes we've had salmon jumping all over the place. Maybe they're being hunted or something? Is there a whale? Killer whales? I don't know. I don't see them anywhere. Just see lots of salmon jumping. I'm trolling kind of a jig right now. Unfortunately, I actually don't have a spoon. I thought I had a spoon, but I'm gonna have to pick up a spoon in Hardy. Yep. We got a fish sitting in our fish well. We are just approaching St. Vincent Bight. Potential spot here for the night. There's a little beach there at the end apparently. But we got a nice little tailwind now. Nice little southeasterly coming in. Kind of tempted to keep going. It's 6 p.m. though. And yeah, I mean, there's spots to pull out around the corner too, so, but we'll see. Maybe we'll go check out the spot if it's really nice. Maybe that's where we'll make camp. And see about maybe getting an earlier start tomorrow if we get an earlier night tonight. It's a bit rainy, so I imagine we'll probably won't be up late. Cook this fish, get it prepared, get it all cooked up, and then yeah, I'll find a way to not make it too stinky. I don't want to attract any bears now. There it is. All right, St. Vincent Bight. We're nestled into an unnamed creek. Apparently it's a creek here. Kind of interesting. I might go for a little walk, see what's up there. Wow, what a spot. A little source of fresh water. God, these rocks are so slippery. How about that? Wow. Found a beautiful spot. We're going to fill up our water and go make camp. Wow. Making water. Still have lots of water on board, but might as well get back to full. Wow. That's nice. I love it. Good morning. Monday morning. Back at work. Starting the work week. Yeah, right. Whew. A little bit of rain today. Petering off now. Winds forecasted today for Johnstone Strait, northwest 5 to 10, and becoming variable, and then maybe even changing to a southeasterly again. So how about that? Perfect. Fog banks are clearing now. You can see across the water. Still tons of jumping fish here. Wow, what a bounty out there. Cooked my fish last night. It was delicious. Cooked it over the fire. Brought my cast iron pan, so I kind of did 2 fillets. Fried up a fillet, some nice olive oil with some rice, steak spice. Oof, that was good. And then the rest of the carcass and the other fillet I kind of slow cooked, I guess kind of fast smoked over the fire. I had a nice low fire going and kind of kept, you know, rotating pieces of wood over on the coals to kind of get it nice and smoky. And yeah, over the course of a couple hours, kind of fast smoked it, I guess. And then you could just slide the rest of the pieces of meat right off the bone, every little bit, every little jowl, every little morsel of food peeled right off. And I should put it in a Ziploc bag, and then in another dry bag, and then stowed it in the food cache. So I know it's not good practice to have leftovers, but I mean I couldn't eat a whole salmon in one sitting, and I'm not gonna waste that. So I got fire. Feel like that was good deterrent for animals, and got my bear spray. I've got my bangers, and I got a fire. So I figured it was worth it to honor that beautiful salmon. And yeah, no critters, no problems found. St. Vincent Bight, jumping fish zone. Today we're gonna set out again, and we're going to head west. maybe Hanson Island tonight, just outside of McNeil. We'll see. Our time, how our timing goes, maybe we'll even go straight to Port McNeil tonight. You can see how it goes. Probably pop in a Swantula, maybe a night, and then carry onwards to Hardy. Maybe get to Hardy there before too long. Maybe 3-4 days. Yeah. Catch you on the water.
I want to try to resurface this, kind of machine this down on a rock, on a hot rock, to kind of bring it down with this line here, because the nut just barely threads on. So got some hot rocks here. I was cooking up some rocks for this very purpose. Got rock number 1. Well, how about that? It's not the best, it's not the worst. It's definitely a little bit better anyways. Managed to get it, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 millimeters down. And there's just kind of a bit of a dish in here now. So the nut will thread on there, I'm sure, just fine. Not bad. There we go. Look at that. Thing of beauty. Cloudy day here. Bald eagle. Will it hunt? Goes off. Sticking close to shore today. Fog in the Johnstone Strait. Got a little bit of data, so I've got AIS traffic loaded up on my phone. I have some vague idea, nothing too big coming through, so I'm gonna stick close to shore, watch charts and watch the plotter, and yeah, enjoy the spectacular view. It's incredible getting to explore things so close. It's a beautiful thing about a small craft. You can really get up close and personal. Look at how clear the water is. About 50 feet deep. Almost 50-foot visibility. You can see down there. Beautiful. Cruising at 60 watts, pedaling, doing 5 kilometers an hour, just barely cruising along here. Pump it up a little bit. Just cruising along. Beautiful. It's a rainy day in the Johnstone Strait. Oh. Yeah, we are west of Windy Point, pedaling along, cruising along, and the current's starting to turn around here, so 5, 6, 7 kilometers an hour if I'm on the pedals. Yeah, cruising along. I think we're only using about, sitting around 100 watts. Motor, pedaling. How about that? Not bad. 35 volts, just under 50% battery. So we don't have too far to get to today. About 50 kilometers. Hanson Island. If we get there, great. If not, we'll stop somewhere else. This cover here is fantastic in the rain. I'm sitting under here and I'm pretty much dry completely. The rain is falling around me and I am sitting under here dry and cozy. Oh, snagged a kelp. Let go. See ya. Oh, I was cruising along in the rain and the fog. Collecting water. Nice. Liquid rain, baby. Neat thing with solar here. It's raining right now. It's pretty foggy, pretty overcast, but enough light coming through. Probably can't see it, but yeah, we're getting like almost 2.5 amps, actually. 2.5 milliamps, or rather 2.5 amps. It's pretty good. You know, it's like 70 watts or so. Not too bad at all. We're cruising right now at about 100 watts of power into the motor. We're pedaling lightly, 6 kilometers an hour. Not bad at all. Naka Creek. Nice. It's raining here, Johnstone Strait. We are just west of Naka Creek, and yeah, even though it's raining and foggy, we can just see the mountains next to us. Can't see the other side at all, but we're managing to get a little bit of solar charge here. You can see that we're getting 2.67 on the left and 1 amp on the right. So the two front ones are 2.7 or so, 2.67. The overhead panel is 1 amp, so that's 3.7 amps. That's not bad in these conditions. I mean, I'm cruising along at 4.5 amps right now. So, yeah, using slightly more than I'm getting, but that's okay. You know, for being a completely cloudy, rainy day, that's pretty good. That'll extend our range or just boost our speed, just being able to collect a little bit extra sun. So yeah, should get to Hansen Island maybe 7 p.m. between 7 and 8, maybe. We'll see how it goes, and then dry out in Port McNeil, I think. All right. Phew. We were just in the thickest, coldest fog. The bank. We sailed right into a bank, but it's blown away, just like that. Things change quickly here. Johnstone Strait. Stopped in at a Discovery kayak camp. They had a little sauna. Didn't say no. Sauna invite. And now we're carrying on. We'll see if we get there. It's cool, it's flat, it's foggy. Enjoying this bit of visibility that we have now though. Getting about 3 amps almost on the panels, 2.5 amps. Cruising at about 3.7 amps, so just plodding along, pedaling, doing 8 kilometers an hour. We're about 18 kilometers from Hansen, so a couple more hours. A couple more hours. And then we're just about in McNeil. All right, got the sail up. We are close to the end of Johnstone Strait. There you are. That's near the end there. That point. On the end of Baronet, and then Hansen, and then that's it. We are out of the Johnstone Strait. How about that?
Passing a Canadian aircraft carrier here. 30 fighters on deck, ready to go. We are in the swirlies here by just the entrance of Johnstone, straight Hanson Island, and Swain Tula. Here we go. That's a whirlpool, but we got our sail up and no dagger board, so we should just be able to cruise on over it here. That's a log. Avoid that. If we can, we're dragging a kelp. Release the kelp. Rudder down. Bye, kelp. Rudder down. Let's go. Alright. No big deal. A little ocean whirlpool to deal with here. But, yeah. No problem. Pure silence. Sailing along. Solar panels charging up. 37 volts, charging at 4 amps. Nice. Just going through the channels here. Might be facing some current. Should be changing now. Beautiful patches of salal. Lots of berries, I'm sure. Beautiful. Very chill. Very nice. The Narrows between Pierce Islands. That is where we are. Will we get through under sail here? We're sailing up the river. See, the water is definitely flowing toward us. We are not moving particularly fast, but I can get this sail out here. Hold this sail out a little bit. Can we do it? We're moving. We're getting through here. It is about 30 feet deep. Come on, wind. Yeah, look at that. No problem. Out for a rip. Nice southeasterly. Alert Bay. Nice. Alert Bay. I highly recommend checking out the Umistak Cultural Center at the north end of Alert Bay. There was so many cool
artifacts and culturally significant pieces, and the stories and the rich history of the First Nations people in this area was very cool to see. I would love to see more of this around the island, places like this that you could stop in and learn. Highly recommend. Left Alert Bay, heading for Malcolm Island, also known as Swintula, but not going to town today. Just going to a little campsite on the southern shore. Can't see it. It's foggy again. God dang it! Shout out to the Harmony Shores campsite keepers, super nice folks. They helped me pull in there onto the beach. Very lovely spot, would recommend. The fog is cleared. We're just doing a top speed test with this Solas propeller. 10 kilometers per hour there, just about. And here's what we're using right now. About 1,000 watts. 25 amps from the battery. We are getting about 4 amps on the solar charge. So this is what top speed looks like on the motor. We are clipping along pretty good. 10 kilometers per hour, that's pretty sweet. And we could do this for about an hour on a full charge. So now keep in mind, so that's, about a 10 kilometer range at full speed, but keep in mind that we can cruise at 200 watts and do about 6 kilometers an hour, 7 kilometers an hour. Yeah, probably more like 6 kilometers an hour on 200, 250 watts. So at that speed, we've got we can do that for about 5 hours. So at that speed, we got a range of about 30 kilometers. And obviously, if you use less power, even at 100 watts, you can still cruise along at 4 or 5 kilometers an hour, and you can do that for 10 hours. And well, if the sun is shining, then you can cruise at 6-7 kilometers per hour indefinitely, maybe even faster at 400 watts, 450 watts. Let's see what happens here. Let's go down to 450 watts and have a look, see what that looks like. Alright, about 450 about, and we'll let our speed level off here. So yeah, just like with any boat, you pay a penalty for speed in your range and your fuel consumption. It goes up like exponentially above a certain speed until you maybe reach a planing speed, but this boat is not a planing hull. It will not plane, maybe without, maybe a 10 horse. But yeah, so you kind of reach the hull speed, which I think is probably, for this boat around 5, I want to say between 7 to kind of 8 kilometers per hour, probably, maybe 9 is probably the hull speed. About 4 or 5 knots, I would say. Like when you're under sail. So we've kind of leveled off here. We're using 440 watts, call it 450, and we're cruising at about 7.6 kilometers an hour. 7 kilometers an hour, call it. So that's not bad. So this is at full solar power. If we were in direct sunlight, we would be going this fast. 7 kilometers per hour, all day. If you get, if you're out from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m., catching direct sunlight, then you can do, 7 kilometers per hour times 10, that's 70 kilometers in a day without having to pedal or paddle or even sail, really. I mean, if you're sailing, you can go faster, but, if you're doing 450 watts, if you're in direct sunlight, I'm getting that much power right off the panels. I'm doing 7 kilometers per hour. If I'm on the water at 10 and I'm off the water at 8 p.m., that's, that's
10 hours, that's 7 kilometers an hour. That's a 70-kilometer day. That's pretty good. And that's without having to pedal or anything. So, if there's wind, obviously we can go faster, and we're expecting northwesterlies for hopefully the next few weeks off the west side. But yeah, overall the sail power system has been fantastic. There was ironing out some kinks in the first little bit there with that outrunner motor, but now that we've got this in-rudder swapped in with a larger, heavier propeller, we're just kind of clipping along, no problems. It's super reliable. I opened up the battery case in behind me there this morning to inspect, and only saw the smallest amount of condensation. There was no actual cooling, no water inside, so I expect a bit of condensation. It's been so wet, and when the sun is shining a bit, it heats up the case, so it expands the air, and then when it cools again, it pulls air in, so it's going to be kind of breathing in and out, several times a day as it cycles in temperature, and it'll pull in some moisture that'll then condense when it cools off again. So I've got a little paper towel in there to kind of, hopefully, if it condensates enough to start to pool, it'll get absorbed. But there wasn't even enough to pool, and I haven't cracked that case since Hornby, so about a week now. We've definitely faced some pretty severe weather and waves since then. So yeah, overall the power system has been amazing. It's allowed me to move much faster than I normally would, and to have a more leisurely kind of pace, right? I can spend more time in destinations. I'm not so exhausted when I get off the water. There has still been a fair bit of pedaling, but there's also been a fair bit of sailing, so it's been quite good. I would definitely bring the power system again if I was to do it again, that's for sure. Yeah. Anywho. We are approaching Port McNeil. We'll be here for one night. Picking up some packages, and then heading over to Hardy in the morning. Should be a nice cruise. Should have a full battery. The battery is basically full. We're at 41 volts. Almost 42 volts there, so no worries. We got power to spare, and yeah, it's a pretty short jaunt to Hardy, so if the weather's like this, should be an easy cruise. A little wake, here we go. I'll show you guys what a little boat wake is like. Not too bad. No worries. And here we see the route broken apart by days from Campbell River to Port McNeil. Thanks for watching. If you're still watching this series, obviously I'm not a professional video editor, and I'm just learning this on the go here, so please leave your comments, and I can improve future videos. Thanks.